And we should be live right now. Let me test this microphone. Yeah, I always test this thing, just is working. All right, here we are. Thank you so much for being here. Here we are again. It's been almost a month since we did this. I was extremely busy with a bunch of traveling for shows and things like that, so I wasn't able to be here on Saturdays for 3 weeks already. But I am happy to be here today again with you all. And today we got a really cool tune to talk about, to investigate, to play around. And let's get right into it. That's the Bossa Nova classic called O Barquinho, with the little boat, by a great composer, Roberto Menescal, a classic Bossa Nova composer. That tune has a lot to give us, and we're gonna dive into it right now. I hope you all hear me fine. Leave in the comments if you are hearing me. I hope you are. Checking out the audio and video, so everything seems to be fine. Well, why don't we just let's just go into it. Again, the classic script, right? We're gonna take a look at the tune, the chart, and kind of start from there, right? So let's take a look at O Barquinho, Roberto Menescal, Ronaldo Boscoli. Cool, so let's check it out. We already have a few people here. Reggie is in the house. Thank you, brother. Reggie is a member of the Brazilian Guitar Institute and is here with us as well. What's up, man? You're excited for jazz? So yeah, it's gonna be really great. I have my jazz orchestra, my 18-piece band is playing Dazzle again. Due to request, we sold out Dazzle, so we're playing October 1st. Get tickets if you haven't done already. If you're in the area, it's gonna be a great show. Hey, look forward to see you, brother. Bala, also not a member, is here. Thank you, my friend, for being here this morning, and this should be night in India right now. But let's dive into it. O Barquinho, a classic Bossa Nova song. This song has a lot to give us and a lot of things that we have to kind of tweak. It's got the right framework rhythmic wise, it's got the 2/4 things, got the 16 note stuff going on. So there's a lot in our favor that makes our life easier to put together the classic sort of guitar arrangement that we used to do here on Saturdays, the Sambafying thing. Let's take a look at this melody. It's 1, 2, 1, 2, and I better just play the song, right? So 1 and 2. That's it. That's the tune. You got a mix of the 16 with the triplet in there in a few places. So that's challenging, and we're going to talk about that. I always talk about the triplet and how to treat the triplet. There was a few things in this melody that we should change or alter a little bit to just give us a little more of a movement, like a forward motion thing, that something that I talk about quite a bit. And that's that second bar over there, when you have that 8 note here. It's not super awesome for a groove, that kind of pushes the thing to downbeat, and that's what we don't want to do. Right? Usually when I play, I just do the 16 note, right? That thing. Have the triplets that again kind of delays us a lot, So I'm gonna put the Brazilian syncopation figure, or a 16 note kind of grid there, sequence of notes. And then I will take that triplet out to either the figure or that's always better. The figure is there, and then no. Or like this, either this or the syncopation. Never the triplet in this case. That won't help us a lot. So those are the things that we will do there to, you know, sort of give a little more spice to this melody and make it easier for us, because it's all about to make it easier. Amedeo Grazie from Italia, carissimo, thanks for being here, my friend. Also a Patreon member. So that's kind of the treatment of the melody. The melody is already, you know, very ripe for exploration, if you will. A lot of the material of the melody carries enough information to be the groove, as I keep stressing here every Saturday. That's gonna be the groove. That's gonna be basically the melody just carrying and carrying the rhythm and the groove there. Let's try to put that against the bass, and that's kind of the first stage on the beginning of the full Sambafying thing, right? So we put that against the bass, so it will be something. That note is tough to play. I don't know if I played that all the time. Sorry, it's A sharp. Okay. Okay, this is another cool thing that you do already. Talking a little bit about harmony. I will try to push that to the harmony portion, but I usually it's written an E, like a 2/5 thing. Right? Usually another thing that everybody does. I do that too. To the Triton sub. So you might be seeing me playing the bass in B flat. That's why. So. See? Or I don't usually play the triplet because I keep stressing that all the time. The triplet is a little drag in the scheme of things to keep the motion going. It forces us to stop the groove, you know, to play the triplet. If that's something that you want to do, you can do. But for the flow of the thing, I don't like it. I play or never the third or never the triplet. So that's it. Then the rest is just a sequence, right? Whole step, then whole step. Part on this little bit of a longer note, we're gonna have a chance to groove there. So that's basically the framework that we usually work here with, right? The top layer, the bottom layer, the melody in this case, the bass in this case, most of the times, but not all the times. We talked about this before. So we put that, let me put that more into a sort of a chordal shape, so we kind of get ready to play the harmony. I just play the melody by itself. Let me put that into some kind of a voicing ready, right? So we can play that. A few comments here. Leandro, quando vier ao Brasil, vamos tocar em Búzios. Pô, adoraria tocar em Búzios. Já toquei em Búzios aí há alguns anos no Café Concerto. Toquei naquele um lugar bonito, Havana Café. Toquei lá algumas vezes, toquei 2 noites seguidas, foi muito legal. Adoraria tocar de novo aí, Leonardo, desculpa. Leonardo from Brazil. Obrigado, cara. Obrigado por você estar aqui. Adoraria tocar aí de novo. Cool. So, let's leave this into a more ready to go shape, right? So, instead of playing that like that, so let's see if we can kind of make it more into the shape of the chord, right? So I like to play that melody. I like to play that here. And I play 4-4-4-4 like pinky, just because it will be easy to groove. For instance, it's very easy to play. It's just kind of under your fingers. You can kind of do here. It's easy to play the full chord here. You can play that F major 7, but then you have to play G, and then you have to change your hands, and that's what we try to avoid, right? To move your hands too much here to get out of the shape. So this shape not only allows me to keep the chord, but also I can move bass like, and that keeps it, just adds to the motion. So we like that. Then we got the B minor, the classic, minor 7/11. You can do that, or there's an open string there. You can go E7 and then go here, right? But the general idea, and then the rest is very under your fingers. Catch me, that one here in the sort of a second part there on the third system, third bar, the pickups in the third bar with the triple. If you do, but that note F always kind of trick me a little bit. The tendency I have usually to play the E, but I gotta make an effort to play the F. Sorry. So the rest is very under your fingers. The thing to work on here is that just sequence of major chords, right? Just whole step down, right? Then whole step down, then whole step down. Just a sequence. That's what it is, right? So that's the sequence, right? That's kind of the rhythmic, the melody dance thing here. The melody is ready to go. We don't need to spend much time on sort of reshaping or reframing the melody into the things that we need, because the melody is ready to go. This song happens to be a great song for that. Hence I picked that song for us to look into, but I just made a tweak of playing F major here. So you have to kind of move your pinky a little bit. It's out of the kind of an unusual way to do it, but it'll be for the greater good. It just will groove way better, and then you don't have to, if you're gonna assemble the chord again, you gotta like literally change the shape, which kind of cuts the flow, right? Or if you do maybe a pinky, it's hard to keep the rest of the chord together. You can squeeze in the finger one. So from all the possibilities I tried, this one seems to be the one that works the best, and I highly recommend it. I can groove, I can play the melody, I can play the chords, and I can move the bass. See? Great. As far as the middle layer, you will basically let the melody sing, let the melody play the groove, right? And I'm just supporting the melody. Right? I can do sort of like play every single instance of the melody. I don't recommend, but you can like and do that. Or I think it grooves a little better, in my honest opinion. Here's a good one to do, you know, the whole melody. You can attack everything with the middle, support the melody, or right? You see that the middle comes in a couple times. Or he also grooves, so you can do both, and then the rest is just a sequence. We have the groove, a little bit, right? You see, the groove comes in a few moments in there, but this melody happens to be very rich, very active, as I like to call it, and that's enough for us to make that thing to sing. So that's the sort of the first half of the look into the this tune. Let's talk about the harmony a little bit. The harmony is really great. I will try to keep kind of the original version there. So it's F major. So you have a 2/5 to A major or A minor in this case, right? Which is a 3 of F, right? Right, so, and then it doesn't go there, it goes to E flat major, which is a sequence. It goes whole step down, and then repeats the cycle. So you can do that. The bridge second part is really simple. It's da-da-da, you know, it's just 3 or 2/5 to G minor, right? Which is the 2/5 of F. So it's a really kind of easy, clear, done part bridge. It's really simple to understand. This one is definitely a sequence, and you can approach the dominant part by using two different dominants. You can use that 5 of the 2/5, right? That was supposed to go to A minor, and then it goes to E flat. So you can do that 2/5-1, that sort of deceptive movement here, and then so you can go 2/5 and then move to the next thing, or you can use the sort of a substitute dominant of that, which will be cool. You can do like the famous in jazz lingo, the Triton sub, as they call. So instead of playing E7, you play B flat 7, like sharp 11 in this case, right? You can do that, and that will otherwise land in A minor, but then you go in here. But this, if you use that particular chord, substitute dominant, it's cool because it can also act as the dominant of that E flat thing, which is cool. So it's got like this sort of double function thing, like different types of dominant in the same chord. You can have this. So you can make that, you know, into this, right? That's very interesting. lot of sort of advanced things you can do. I don't know if we're gonna have time to all of them. I prepared a few tricks to show you, but as I'm playing, I'm remembering more tricks and I haven't prepared for it in the play along I made, which is, damn it. I wish I could put that in. But this B flat here, it can act as that substitute dominant of the E, or also of the 5 of the E flat. Which is cool. I can approach in different ways. I can use the kind of lead and dominant type of sound, or kind of a mixolydian of E flat on the improvisation side of things. So that substitution there works on all the parts of the sequence. That's definitely one chord you can put in there. The other thing that I do, which is a classic in these live streams, I have been doing that for a while, is whenever you have the sequence of when you have a sequence of major chords like we have this. Remember from Night and Day, if you go back to Night and Day, I show you that trick that you can sort of like reverse everything to minor. Instead of major, 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 you can do minor, 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 the relative minor, which is really cool. I got a cool comment here. So Amanda, you beloved Herbie thing substitution. Yes, yes, you got that, my friend. You got that, you know. Yeah, you got that. Man, this guy has been watching my podcast since the beginning. I know, my friend. Thanks for catching that. I can talk about that one maybe if we have time, but that one is a cool one. The Herbie thing. Minor thing, relative minor I was talking about. Let's not let me get sidetracked here. So instead of playing, you see that we're always landing on these major chords, which is great. It's kind of airy and beautiful. But if you want to twist a little bit, you can substitute them with the relative minor of those chords. So instead of playing, you can do the relative minor version. So I get see, you got this different kind of color there. That's the relative minor approach. We use this in the Night and Day live stream, you know, that because Night and Day has those 2 chord majors on the bridge, Night and Day, so we use the minor approach there. So if I would play that, let's see how it would sound instead of playing. Let's put minors in there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. So that's cool. I like more that vibe minor. It's very Brazilian. Tony Horta, I know that stuff. You have basically a little bit of a sequence of minor chords, no? So that's already a cool sequence. Then, which I really love this type of sequence of minor chords. So that's definitely something you can use, and you should. Cool. And then let's kind of let the fun begins now. Another thing you can do is explore the pedal possibilities. Because if we have a dominant thing, if you have a 2-5-1, you have a pedal in 5, like a sus pedal resolving to the dominant. So instead of playing the 2-5, you play the 5 sus and then 5. So that would lead us to, and this is, we are kind of heading into trying to get a little more voice leading in these basses, so the melody, the harmony doesn't jump too much. Because if you play the basses, you notice that right, you got this cycle fifth, all that jazz, right? The fifth and the fourth jump, so so you have all those jumps, right? All these leaps. If you want to kind of equalize that and smooth that out, you can and you should. And the pedal will give you that. This sort of like chromatic line on the bass and the chords. So check it out. Instead of playing I can have So how cool is that? I have a sequence of like a chromatic descending line. F, so explaining, breaking down what I did. Instead of playing B minor, E7 or B minor or B flat, I did F, Ace, E sus, and that leaves me D2, E flat, so chromatic, then D, G flat, C, so you have F, E, E flat, D, D flat, C. Isn't that cool? So you have a possibility of creating this chromatic line in the bass, so you then get rid of the jumps, which is another cool color you can do, right? I can do a pedal here. Because I have 2-5-1, then I have this sus 5 sus, and then 5-7. So I can do that. Let's see a few comments here. Antônio Carlos, obrigado, Antônio, obrigado por você estar aqui com a gente na aula. Deixa uma pergunta se eu tiver aqui, tá? Abraço. What a minor gate you unblocked? Yes, I talk about that one quite a bit, my friend. You can go catch the night and day live stream. I use that trick there too. Is this a guitar only thing with the voice leading, or should bass players think about this? Is absolutely the bass players. Absolutely, bass players should think about that. If you have a bass player in the band, you have kind of the power to suggest these things, right? The cats that you saw here in Denver, La Bijou, Gonzalo, they're all really smart in sort of gauging what's going on with the harmony. So if the bass player decides to do it, it's done, right? You have to go with it. It can be something that you can agree on. It's like, well, in the tune, let's kind of go there. Or sometimes I kind of force myself into it too. I kind of suggest it and just leave a little, give a little smile to the bass player, and then, oh, I know what you're doing, right? But definitely the bass can have a more preeminent role in suggesting these things, right? You want, as a bass player, right, you want to provide the foundation of the chord. Of course, you shouldn't start like crazy, but we're always trying to have variety, right? Variations and different colors. Even if you're playing standards, on and on the chords and things, you want to start getting, getting different colors out of the same thing, because we're gonna repeat these chords, and then someone solos and then the other soloist. A good way to differentiate, to change the color of the thing, is to change the bass, and pedals are a powerful way to do that. So if you have the classic standard kind of harmony movement like we just have here on this like jumps of 5 and 4th and 5th, right? this kind of thing. What is the opposite of that? The opposite of that is to create chromaticism. Via chromaticism, you can create this sort of like less movement on the leaps and just a more smooth line. In this case, voice leading, you just have a chromatic down thing. It just happened that this tune is perfect for that, right? Like if I'm playing this, I think I did a little bit of my play along that I'm gonna play with it. But if I do a pedal thing here, like I was showing, I can immediately change the groove to like a samba funk thing. I'm playing samba, right? Then check it out. See, I use that particular alternate path, the chromatic descending thing, and suggest a different groove. So that by itself is a good way to apply contrast to the form, which is the same form. We're just having the same kind of harmonic layout for soloists, but it just is slightly modification. I can create a different color there within the same, reference points, if you will, but we create a different color. So that kind of triggers the drummer to do a different thing, or, this is in jazz when you have the whole, playing in two, kind of have time and then go into a swing straight ahead, you change the vibe, right? So you can play, whatever things you can do to change the color of things. It's a collective thing, of course, like the bass player and the drummer and everything. But this is a specific harmony thing you can do to have that kind of effect, just change the vibe, right? In this case, we're using harmony. In this case, the bass is an important part of this whole equation. So I hope I answered that question. Well, thank you, Bala. Thank you for liking the post, the thing I said. Fico curioso de ver uma música como um crowd musical. Muito obrigado, Antônio. It's a great song. Is acknowledging Zap that I use this song. Obrigado. Barquinho é uma música maravilhosa e rica, cheia de coisas interessantes pra gente falar. Então, tem mais. Just saying that Barquinho, this song has a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things that this song offers, which is great. Could you explain more on your right hand technique? How you approach arpeggios and scales? Kind of a long answer for that, my friend, but thank you for asking. The right hand technique, can I explain my right hand technique? My right hand technique usually is predicated on trying to model things that I hear as far as percussion instruments when I play Brazilian music. I'm always trying to basically model whatever instrument part of this ensemble, in this case percussion stuff. So I'm always trying to my bass is thinking like a surdo. I see that there's a lot going on here, right? The rest, I have the so-called 16-note grid that I talk about a lot here, to keep that swirl of 16 notes going, the dust as I call it, that offers that layer of percussion into the thing, and then utilizing, like using the right accents on this, right? I have the figure of the song in this case. I put that baked in with these other things, these elements, but in general, take the comment also, you can see my hands. In general, I am trying to model instruments. So if I want to play even variations on the groove, so I'm trying to model instruments all the time. And because of that, sometimes my technique has to be modified or affected or adjusted to achieve said sound. Sometimes I use kind of unconventional ways of palming the strings, or different kind of weird hand position, just because I am going for a certain sound, and then kind of gets out of the technique that you expect to have, sort of extended technique, if you will, right? And then it's just a little dance between both hands. This hand also acts a lot on the muting and helping with the subdivisions. But when I'm playing single notes, I usually like to, as more of a jazz approach to the picking, instead of alternating these fingers all the time, which is a good practice, right? Manuals will tell you. You're not supposed to repeat notes, right? But I play a lot of legato line. And that kind of sound, I have to change things here, like, right? Sometimes I use these 3 fingers, I call the pinch, this type of approach, right? This kind of thing helps me to kind of move vertically. Arpeggios I usually use 4 fingers, right? I use in the phrases like a fifth, a quintuplet, for instance. This phrase I play a lot. The shape, like this kind of thing, I need all the fingers, right? When I play stuff more like a fourth kind of, I need all the fingers. This is more like a Francambali type of, more like a sweep picking thing adapted to this. I'm always curious on trying to execute sounds that I hear. You see that there's always this sort of goal. I need to play that sound. How do I do that? Usually I don't come from a standpoint of, okay, this is the technique and I can't play anything. It's like, how do I play that? And then I try to make it happen, basically. You see that the approach of trying to execute this rhythmic framework that I use, it's like sometimes the technique will be affected. How do I phrase? Like I play different sounds from like a saxophone language, like a bebop thing. I have to use a lot of legatos. That's kind of how I kind of, got my sound together, just trying to hear instruments and trying to achieve that sound. And then again, these other type of things, the arpeggios or the fourth language and things like that, that will inform what the technique will be. So I think that's the more clear explanation attempt I can give you as far as the technique. I hope I answered that question, my friend. Thank you for asking it. It's a absolutely beautiful song. Yes, Little Boats is a classic, my friend. David, hey, how are you, my friend? We had a great conversation the other day. I hope you're enjoying this live stream. And there's more. Leave your question here. I'm happy to address. And we got some more stuff coming up here on the live stream. So that's what we have for the harmony, right? Oh, there's a cool thing that I used to. So remember that we're trying to get out or offer a alternate way of moving the chords of this song, right? Because again, let me pull the song here. You see F major, then B, A, D flat, and then you have A, D, D flat, and then G, C, A, D, G, C, right? You have all these jumps, right? Like the classic kind of movement of fifth and fourth in this particular progression. And the sort of the antidote, the option to get out of that is to try to create something that is more voicilette. The bass is moving less, on this case chromatically. That's what we did with right? That pedal comes in handy here to help us to do that. Great. Now here's a second trick to take that idea even further and really develop it. you see that the melodies, everything's kind of moving down, right? It's a sequence going down. You have the motif, like the theme, whole step down, whole step down, right? So it's moving this way, and the harmony follows that thread, right? So whatever trick you use here, either the sort of substitute dominant or that nice sort of chromatic bass, still descending, still kind of following that thread. But here's something cool that goes against that, which is try to use the substitutions I talked about and offer the opposite movement in the harmony. So the melody is going down, but the harmony is going up. So here's how we can do that. So check it out. Instead of right? So instead of going down, how about I do this? And then the sequence. That's really cool. That's a strong kung fu, my friends, and you won't be hearing this around. This is strong kung fu of mine. So I see that I am reversing the expectations, right? The melody is going this way, everything's moving down, but I'm going up on the harmony, and that creates this cool contrast. That's a cool arrangement you can use, right? A feature for an arrangement to have everything moving up on the harmony. On the bottom, the melody goes down. So what I use here, I use the relative minor here instead of F major. I use D minor, but I use that trick from the second part of that sequence, that pedal thing, right? E7 instead of B, E. I did, right? Remember that pedal thing? I'm gonna land there, but I'm coming from the minor, and then I'm adding this different dominant chord there. So I'm doing that's an E flat dominant. Then I got, so I went up. So D, E flat, D. Nice. Then you got a sequence. C, D flat, D. Then the same thing, B flat. So you got a really cool thing going on there, because you got a ascending harmonic movement against a descending melody, and sort of the expectation that goes there, right? That's a cool trick. So remember that one. Really astonishing. Obrigado, meu amigo. Obrigado a você. Grazie, meu amigo de Italia. So this is a good trick. There are more tricks that we can use here, but we're gonna run out of time to talk about all of them. There's all the stuff that came to my mind here what I was doing. Let's keep talking about this, right? And let's move on to the improvisation part. If you just kind of think in the sort of regular progression, right? You basically have an advantage. Since this thing is a sequence, you can kind of think about the first sequence, right? The original main progression, and then reproduce that whole step and then whole step, right? So as far as the scale, you can play F major or F Lydian. Then you think of a 2/5, right? You can think of a 2/5 to A minor, or a 2/5 to A major. Then you have to land in E flat major, and then you get the cycle to happen. As far as the ending, you basically goes around F major. I just play F major, right? That's what I did here. But you can go individually to each chord. We talk about this. You can, alter the dominant chords, or the two, you can make them, subdominant. Half diminished. Then alter them. Right? So that's kind of what's going on there. Let's play a little bit. I kind of play, before we started, a little course of me playing that, so I can try to test these ideas, and then we'll comment on this. But as far as the harmonic plan here, I'm already accounting for some of the tricks that we talked about today. So I'm gonna play the tune with playing the melody twice, and the first time I'm using the subs, right? The substitute dominance. So I'm using that. The second time I'm using that relative minor trick in the melody. And then here I don't play the subs, just go to the 5, but I'm using the minors. And then here I'm using half diminish instead of A minor. And then I repeat. So 2 times the melody. So when we solo, I'm gonna do a few more tricks besides this. I'm gonna play the first chorus just like we did with the subs. The second chorus will do this minor. I'm gonna feature those tricks. And then the third chorus, I'm gonna do the pedal trick that I show, and I'm gonna change the groove a little bit to like a samba funk type of thing. The chromatic descending line in the bass, I'm gonna use that. And then on the bridge, I'm gonna also keep pedals. And then the last will be 4 choruses. And then the last chorus, I'm gonna use that trick I just showed you, the ascending harmony. I'm gonna play over that. So 2 choruses of the melody, 4 choruses of solo. One just following the first 2, and then one with the pedal and one with the ascending thing. So hope it was clear. And then let's see if I can do it. Ela ficar disponível para esse novo, São Paulo. Muito obrigado, Antônio. Sim, vai ficar disponível no YouTube. Você pode acompanhar depois também o replay. Você pode também entrar na minha comunidade. Eu vou botar o endereço aqui. Esses vídeos também ficam lá e tem muita aula, muito material lá. It's a great opportunity to, before I play, to plug in the community. GoCollab.com and Brazilian Guitar. That is a free community that I built for you. If you want to learn more stuff, you can go there. It's free. There's tons of lessons there with PDFs and everything. It's free. You can just answer a few words there, questions, and then you end, right? If you feel inclined to have myself look at your playing and things like that, you're also free to book a call with me. And that's BrazilianGuitarTalk.com. Then we're going to hop on a Zoom call for like about 30 minutes or 40 minutes. It's also free. Yes, I do have a hefty guitar program that I have, the Brazilian Guitar Institute, but The idea here is to just look at your playing, see where you are, and see how can I help you. Okay, I'm not gonna sell you anything. I do have a program, we can talk about it if you want, but this is generally to help you in whatever you are in your guitar journey. If you want to go by yourself and start checking out these videos, go to gocollab.com, collab with 2 L's, gocollab.com/Brazilian guitar. I wait you there, it's free, okay? So let's try to play this thing. And apologize if my computer gives some kind of hiccup, because last time, I don't know if you remember, I was playing and then midway to the chorus, the thing fell. I have to restart, but hopefully it doesn't help this time. It doesn't happen this time. So let's see if this will play. Okay, cool. So let me try now. right, I think we had a successful chorus where I could show the things that I needed to show, right? You see that the harmony changed during the solo because I did all those tricks that we talked about. So before I play the fully Sambafied solo guitar version, the classic ending of it, let me know if you have any questions about stuff. I haven't played that yet, figure out my arrangement, so let's see what happens. But again, if you are interested in this content, my free community, gocollab.com/Brazilian guitar is free. Just answer some questions and you in. There's tons of materials there and I keep updating those. If you feel like you want a one-on-one sort of discovery call from me to see where you are in your guitar journey, Brazilian Guitar Institute, the name of the program, but book a call with me, BrazilianGuitarTalk.com. I'm happy to help. It's also free, there's no charge. I do have a program that is called the Brazilian Guitar Institute. It's an amazing program. I have some members here online and this live stream, they can vouch for it. But both the discovery call is free. We're just gonna talk, chat, and I can see your guitar playing and give you tips and where you are. I have some people here on the stream that we just had a call, and they can say in the comments how the call was. Also, you can go to gocollab.com and get a lot of great content with PDFs and everything. It's all free. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and play this thing, the Barquinho solo guitar. Let me retune my guitar real quick. It's been a rather humid day over here in Colorado, which is rare. All right, let's see what I can come up with here. Thank you very much for being here, and hopefully we see each other next Saturday. I'm gonna pick another song for us to look at, and again, you know, the shameless plugs never end. GoCollab.com, Brazilian guitar, for great content for free. Book a call with me if you want to 101, free of charge as well, so I can look at your stuff. And if you kind of feel like checking out this program, BrazilianGuitarInstitute.com. You have all the information there. You can also book a call with me to talk about that. So, o Barquinho. Let's see what I can do with this. I haven't prepared anything, just stream of consciousness. Let's see what happens there. right, that was a rather different version of O Barquinho. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for being here on this stream. It really means a lot. I hope to see you. There was another pedal I did here, a pedal of the fifth. Follow the same principle of that chromatic descending. I did that on the fifth, on a fourth below. It also works. So thank you so much for being here. I'll see you guys next week again. Free community, gocollab.com, Brazilian Guitar. Book a call with me if you want to talk, Brazilian Guitar Talk. I want to take a look at stuff, free of charge. If you want to dive into the membership, Brazilian Guitar Institute, you know where to go. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon, next week, hopefully.